Welcome to Conversations in the Coop. I'm Brenna Smith, Coordinator of Marketing and External Relations here at Trinity College. I'm here with member of the Trinity men's swim team, Tudor Ionescu. Tudor, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
So we're going to talk about a lot of things today. First of all, you have had quite a path through your life of just different places you've lived. So let's start at the beginning. You were born in Queens, New York.
Right.
And then tell us where you went from there.
Right. So I was born in Queens, New York as a first-generation American. And due to the nature of my parents' work, we moved around quite a lot. I grew up in Switzerland, Romania, Austria, and then I went on to do 2 years of my high school in China. And yeah, I've spent quite different times and a couple of years in these different places. And it's been quite a privilege to meet a lot of new people along the way.
Do you have a favorite among those spots where you enjoyed your time most? Maybe, I know it could vary based on the age you were at or other things, but any favorites?
I think I was pretty young when I grew up in Switzerland, but I remember learning how to ski and to swim there, and I really enjoyed my time there. So I would say probably that's a place where I would go back to.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So you mentioned you went to high school in China for 2 years. What kind of opened up that opportunity for you, or what made you interested in pursuing that direction?
So because I was growing up in different countries, I really got interested in different cultures, and I found out about the school, this conglomerate of schools. It's called the United World College, and it has around 17 schools of different sizes around the world, and they all teach the International Baccalaureate, and it lasts for 2 years, so you can only do it for the last 2 years of your high school. And basically, you apply through the national committee in each of the country where you live at the time, or you can apply through the schools directly, but you're more likely to get a scholarship if you apply through the national committees. And I was in Austria at the time, and I applied there, and I got in, and they offered me 2 spots. Basically, they said between China and South Africa, and I knew that China was pretty new, and had a new pool, and I said I would like to go there. Yes.
Awesome. So, did you feel that because you had, traveled a lot, you'd been in different places, did you have any reservations about going somewhere far away by yourself for an opportunity like that, or did you feel like I'm ready?
I did not have an issue with going there at all. I think it was more of my mother had an issue with me leaving or going that far away. I was very excited.
Yeah.
And I was excited to go to a very new place that I hadn't been to before.
Do you have siblings, or was it just?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I do have siblings, but they weren't with me in the schools or anything.
Okay.
I have 4 siblings.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Where do you fall in that?
Technically, yeah, in the middle.
Okay,
So I have
great.
an older brother, an older sister, and a younger
Okay.
brother, and a younger sister. So
Had-
right in the middle.
Had any of them done anything like this, or were they, mostly along for the travels that the family was taking?
My sister now is doing the same program I did in China and the UK.
Okay.
She's graduating this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you set a little standard, and
A little bit.
open a door for yourself and for your younger siblings. So let's go back a little bit. Obviously, you're on the swim team here.
Mm-hmm.
When did you kind of get into swimming, or was there something that really opened your eyes to the sport?
I think in general it would be my father. He had been a big swimmer in Romania growing up, and my uncle as well. And both of them kind of pushed me towards the sports, and at first I didn't exactly know how long I would be doing the sport, but then as I grew older I grew more fond of swimming, and I started doing it by myself and going to more competitions, and started really competitively competing around 12, 13. And I've been doing that ever since in the countries that I've lived in, and now here at Trinity.
Did you find that going through, having a sport, something like swimming, as you took these moves to different places, was that something that helped you kind of find community in new places?
I would say definitely.
Yeah.
I think having a team wherever you go and being able to stick with them really helps you get accustomed to new places, and it makes it easier to adapt.
So, you mentioned when we were chatting earlier, you speak 3 languages fluently,
Right.
and a little bit of a few others.
Right.
So when you go and you're swimming or you're competing in sports in a place where you might not share language with everyone, did you find that there's kind of like this common language of athletics that you could bond with people regardless of the language necessarily?
I would say that there's an unspoken language between the athletes. I think that we respect each other very much, and that when somebody really performs very well, I think we don't shy away from congratulating that person. And there is this, when, for example, when we do starts and there is a long line, and then there is sometimes this unspoken communication between athletes of letting someone go first or allowing someone to do a start before you. And so I do really enjoy that aspect, even though maybe I don't share the same language as they do.
Awesome. So, go to high school in China with the vision that this could open more opportunities for collegiate pursuits. So, tell me how you landed on Trinity, because you had a little bit of a different. You weren't necessarily thinking swim team when you were going through that process.
I was looking for a smaller liberal arts college. I was talking to my college advisor, and he told me that I think he said that a liberal arts education would fit me quite well. It would allow me to take multiple classes in different areas and then figure out exactly what I would like to do for my education. And I think that basically New England was one of the areas that I was looking at, and receiving a scholarship was also a pretty big part of my decision on where I would like to go. And in the end, Trinity checked all the boxes, and I really liked the school. I liked the way it looked like. I wasn't able to come here in person to look at it, but I did the virtual tour, and then decided to come here without the idea that I would be doing swimming here as well.
Yeah. So you get to campus. You participated in Quest. Was
Right.
that in the pre-orientation?
That was in the pre-orientation.
Okay.
It wasn't mandatory. It was a very last-minute
Okay.
decision.
Yeah.
Basically, someone just mentioned it to me, and then I signed up, and then the next day I was off. Or
Wow.
maybe I think it was even the same day.
Wow.
I packed my stuff and left. I met some friends there that I'm still friends with.
Yeah.
And those are the first people that I met on campus.
Yeah.
And there I met two were senior members on the swimming team, Quinn and Natalie, and both of them talked to me about. They were both Quest leaders, and they both talked to me about the swim team and Division III swimming and the coach, Coach Vega at the time, and I think they got me pretty excited. They said I should definitely look into it.
Yeah.
And talk to other swimmers as well.
So, like you said, that was on day one
Mm-hmm.
of pre-orientation. How long did it take for you to kind of really solidify the idea, like, I want to try to walk onto this team and I want to talk to the coach? Like, was it immediate for you, or did you take a little bit to, like, digest that information?
I think it went. There were multiple stages of talking with other team members as well, but basically after Quest, right after arriving, I sent an email to the coach and said I would like to have a conversation with you about joining the swimming team. I talked to these two swimmers, and I'd like to have a discussion about the possibility of joining.
And what was that like for you to, like you said, you didn't come in planning to swim, and now you're on the varsity swim team. What was that like to kind of start going down that path that you didn't really intend on when you arrived?
I was very nervous. I think that from my perspective, the team looked like they were very tough. Like they trained a lot, and because of COVID, I hadn't been training that much. I also got asked about my times and my performance in the past, and I really felt as if I had to prove myself to the team in the first year. And I really felt like, okay, I need to show them that I'm a good swimmer and that I trained very hard. And I enjoyed it very much. I enjoyed the team. I enjoyed the practices. But I also had that idea in the back of my mind that not being a recruit, I would have to show them even more that I wanted the spot and to fight for it.
Well, and you absolutely have proven yourself. You have a number of top 10 times. You've been a key contributor for your 4 years. So being able to kind of look back on that first experience, now that you're 4 years in, what has it meant to you to be a part of this program?
I think it has meant everything. I wouldn't have made it throughout these 4 years without the swimming team. I think they've helped me to cross some very tough times, and I mean I've had an amazing team. I've been able to meet so many great swimmers here, and I have to really thank my coaches for sticking with me through these times, through injuries and stagnant periods of not being able to improve, or I think coaches, Coach Stevie and Coach Hannah, they both really put everything into helping me perform better and making me a better swimmer. They've really also spent their holidays here, and even when I couldn't go home or I couldn't have a pool, they stayed here and they coached me. And I would accredit a lot of my success to them as well. Yes.
So you took the opportunity to study abroad in London
Mm-hmm.
for a full year.
Yes.
So how did you make that decision to go abroad for a full year? How did you pick London? What were the things that kind of drew you to that?
It was a very tough decision because I knew I couldn't do swimming to the same level I'd done it before. It was from an academic perspective, it was a very good opportunity. The London School of Economics is one of the best programs in economics, I would say, in the world. It's a school that really focuses on a mix of economics, political science. I wanted to live in a different city, and they wouldn't offer half a term, 1 term or any less time spent there. So I would have to stay there for an entire year. And I figured that if I had the opportunity to swim with some clubs there, then I would, be able to stay in shape and still come back and swim in my last year here. But it was really an academic decision, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the swimming side of things like?
I swam with a master's team. Usually it was a graduate student at the London School of Economics. They were swimming at a pool close by a couple of times a week, and so I would be with them and swim. And I would train by myself. I would lift by myself. I would also go running, cycling. I just try to keep myself in shape as much as possible.
Did you find it difficult to kind of keep that motivation without your team around you? Were you keeping in good touch with everyone to, really keep that kind of the team mentality that you get when you're going through like tough trainings?
I think it's really difficult to get through tough trainings without a team. I think that switching a little bit through cycling and running helped me take my mind off of just about that difficulty with swimming.
Yeah.
But my goal was mainly to stay in shape and to be able to come back, not lose swimming entirely. But yeah, I think I really missed the team, and that was the tough choice to make at the time.
Did you have a favorite part of your time in London? It could be either like something that you did, something about the city, something about the school, just any favorite pieces of that time.
I'm a big history buff, I would say, so I really liked going to the museums. And I also, one of the best parts was that, so my older sister, she works in London, so I was able to see her quite a lot, and my older brother also, he studies in the UK and in Wales.
Okay.
And both of us are big Harry Potter nerds, and we did a Harry Potter tour, a road trip through the UK and then Wales, and through the entire UK, through England, Wales, and then out to Scotland, through the moors. That was very exciting.
Oh, that's awesome.
I really liked that.
That's awesome. And that's really cool that you got to be closer to your siblings when you were so far away from here. So you're studying economics and public policy.
Right.
You're doing a thesis in both of them. How did you make the decision to do not one, but 2 theses?
Well, to be frank, the 2 departments said that I wouldn't have to take a lot of classes if I did a thesis. And I really liked my advisors. And I thought I would much rather do a thesis where I really focus on a particular topic and maybe specialize over an entire year than take some classes. And I've really enjoyed it so far.
Yeah.
I been very privileged to work with my two advisors, and they've really helped me along the way. And I think it's coming all together. And I really like the being able to work by myself, but also kind of set my own schedule whenever I want to.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this is always the hard hitting question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what's next after graduation?
Well, in terms of swimming, I know that I would like to at some point go back and do some masters competition, but I can also imagine myself doing some triathlon.
Okay.
I know those are longer events than what I'm doing now. I'm more of a sprinter. But in terms of life in general, I've applied to some grad schools here in the U.S. And also Europe, and jobs as well. And I'm still trying to see which ones, where I will find an offer or an opportunity. But I would like to work in finance, and I've had some internship experiences in that field. But I'm still trying to see.
And so, looking for some of these opportunities in the U.S., but do you see yourself going back to maybe some of the places where you've lived before, or do you see yourself being interested in trying some new locations in your future?
I'm definitely interested in trying some new locations, but for now, I'm still interested in the opportunities that I have here in the U.S. But I'm open to whatever comes, and wherever there might be an opportunity. But maybe I'll go back to Europe in 10 years or so. But I'll see.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Tudor, for taking the time today. We wish you and your team all the best of luck as you wrap up getting into NESCACs next weekend. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
That'll do it for this Conversations in the Coop. Special thanks to Tudor for taking the time to sit down with us today. You can catch all of the latest news, scores, schedules on our Bantam Sports website, as well as our Bantam Sports social media accounts. Until next time.